Hey there, my name is Terry Robinson. So, what is my story? My story is I am the oldest of three. I have a brother and a sister. My family were from Maryland. My parents now live in Florida, though, and I live in Charleston, South Carolina. So, I am going to be 42 next month. And I have three kids now. My education is in, undergraduate is in psychology from University of Maryland, and my master's is in education school counseling. So I was married the first time when I was 21. We were married 16 years by the time we separated. So I was married 4 days after I graduated from college. So we both just, he was in the military and he was stationed in Florida. We are from the same hometown. That's how we met, through a mutual friend. We didn't really date. We lived together, or we saw each other once a month when he was in Florida. So I would go travel down there for once a month. So we did that for about a year, and then we were married the following year. And so then we just both hopped in a car and had our U-Haul behind, and we moved to Charleston, South Carolina at that time. So I moved to a place where I didn't know anyone, and we only had one car. So we lived, and he commuted. He did find a ride to work some days, so then I had the car. But most of the time I just sat outside in my apartment and I just was looking out for friends, which was kind of sad. And I'd go to the pool and I'd try to find friends, but I didn't know anyone. And I tried to get a job right out of college because I just graduated college, and I thought it was going to be really simple to find a job, just because I had an undergraduate degree, which it was in psychology. So I learned that it wasn't very specific of a job. So, and any jobs that I was looking at did not have a lot of pay in them. So it just, I don't know. But I would have taken any job at that point had I been offered it. I didn't have any kids and I was newly married. And like I said, I didn't know anyone, and my husband was working 12-hour days in the military. So I would have taken any job, but I didn't. So we were in Charleston, South Carolina at that time for about 2 months when my husband got a call to join in a officer program, and so he moved to Newport, Rhode Island. In Newport, Rhode Island, we were there only about a year, and I did some training as a bank teller for like a month, and that was very stressful. I don't know, it just didn't click in my brain. So I did that for a month. I quit on the very last day of the training and left to go search for a different job, and went back to what felt comfortable to me as being a waitress. So I was a waitress while my husband worked during the day, but I was working at night. So I memean, I don't know if we saw each other. We didn't see each other a lot. I can't really remember. I don't remember thinking that it was a bad place as far as how often we saw each other. But then I did find a job as a behavior specialist in a developmentally disabled adult like community house. As I worked that from 9 to 5, and he was working 9 to 5, so we got on the same schedule. But like I said, we were only there for a year. From there, then the next year we moved to Norfolk, Virginia, and he started doing his undergraduate, and that's where I started my master's degree program for school counseling, and I also got a job at social services. So I worked during the day and went to school at night, and he did his schooling during the day and had a little part-time job. He had through a ROTC scholarship. So we did that. I was kind of like the woman holding down the house in the fort. I was bringing in the money other than the ROTC scholarship fund that we got each month. So I did that while I got my master's. And then from there, we moved to Charleston, South Carolina. And he went through some the officer training program back in the same program that he was doing the first time we were there. He went through as an officer program. So we did that, and we stayed. That's when we had our first child, I think. No, we had our first child in Virginia before we left. So we came back to Charleston with one child. And then I got pregnant with our second while we were in Charleston the second time. So during those times, you know, I was taking care of our house. I was, you know, doing everything around the house, cleaning it, you know, taking care of the bills, doing everything. At one point in time, he said he wanted to take on more responsibility, and so I kept putting the bills in the basket and the checkbook in the basket, and they never got paid. So we learned that that wasn't his job. So then the kids came, and so that added on more jobs. So once the kids came, I did not go back to work. I stayed at home and was a stay-at-home mom with the kids because we moved so often, and it was just, and he works different hours, so it was just too hard to have a job outside. But I did have my education to fall back on, so that's good that I completed that. As you know, that we had the two kids, I was taking care of the kids. There wasn't much time for me to do any, you know, anything for myself. I didn't do anything specifically other than take care of the house. And I remember feeling stressed out about the house and how everything was going to get together. But I felt alone a lot. He didn't help me with it. So I guess also I probably didn't. I think I might have asked him to help me with it, but I wanted things done a certain way. So it was kind of I guess, just do it your way and you'll get it done your way. So, you know, just do everything. So we did that. We left Charleston and then went to Hawaii. And we were in Hawaii with two kids, 2 years old and a newborn. And he had a lot of deployments in the military, Navy. So I met lots of good friends, and some of our friends we met in through like Norfolk and in Charleston, and they went with us to Hawaii. So that was cool. So I knew some people. While we were there, I did get back into health and fitness. That was the first time I've gotten into health and fitness since I was in high school. So I did not do anything health and fitness wise from high school all the way until my second child was about 6 months old. So she is now 13 years old. So at that time, I guess I was probably 30. So high school is 20 to 30 years old. I didn't do any working out or exercise or that sort of thing. So that's kind of where my journey began, health and fitness wise. I stayed at home and did the Billy Blank's Tae Bo workouts. And my kids, there was this wall it was a sliding wall. It used to be a patio, but in Hawaii they made it an indoor lanai, they called it. And it was a glass wall. So I would slide the glass wall so that they could sit in there and watch their TV, but they couldn't come in and get like underneath my feet, but they could see me. So they'd sit on top of the couch and look over and watch me do what I was doing. So it was kind of cute. I even had a baby swing, like you put on your outside swing set, and I put it up, and sometimes when she was real little, she'd sit over there, so I'd go over and swing her while I was doing the workout. So that was about 30 to 40 minutes a day, but you know, I decided I wanted to do it while they were awake and not while they were sleeping. So went through that. I did lose all the baby weight, and I think at that point I had lost the weight enough to get below where I had even started with my first. So that gave me a lot of confidence, and I felt good. I did not eat very healthy. I thought eating healthy at the time was eating less, and it wasn't about eating the right things. So it was as long as I didn't eat a lot of what I was eating, I thought I was eating healthy. did not, the kids, you know, I didn't really have to cook dinner for, you know, my husband or like family meals because he wasn't there. So it was just me and the two girls. You know, so they would eat regular cereal, chicken nuggets, grilled cheese, and easy stuff. Um, and most of the time I ate what they ate. So I didn't realize at the time that I was not fueling my body properly. So then move on. We were there about 2 years, went to Virginia, back to Virginia, and then got pregnant with my third. And so went through that pregnancy while we were in Virginia, still managing the house, still managing the two kids, wasn't working. My husband was now working in a shipyard, so even longer hours, but he was on land. So then after there, we moved back to Charleston again. So that's like the third time back in Charleston. And my second child was born also in Charleston. I mean, my third child. So second and third were born in Charleston. So now we're on baby number 3. We're living in a house. The oldest girl is in kindergarten, and the second daughter is 3, and then I'll have a newborn. So I'm back at the same place I was, but with second child and third child. And so about 6 months in, after the third child, I got back into wanting to do some sort of exercise. But I had 3 C-sections, so it was harder to get moving. So I joined a local gym. It was a rec center. It was $35 for the year, which was really awesome. So I started going to there. There was a little daycare center, and you could leave your kids in there, but it was definitely not a safe place. So it was really difficult. It was like in the gym, and they had little bleachers set up, and you could leave them there, and they would come and get you as in any daycare if they were crying or whatever. So I had to be really fast. So they had an indoor track in there, and we walked with, hold on.